Hi, my name is Darren Hughes. I'm the Chief Executive of the Electoral Reform Society. I'm in Edinburgh at the moment, in the capital of Scotland, where there are 59 seats for the House of Commons in play on the December 12th election. And Scotland's really interesting because it's playing such a big role in the outcome of the election. It's also a country where there's multi-party politics, and also this issue of tactical voting is very much on the cards here. So I had a chat to a couple of people to see what they had to say about it, to share their thoughts with you. Since Kieran, obviously the Scottish seats are very critical of this election. Which of the seats we should be looking out for from a tactical voting point of view?
Well, there are three seats in Scotland that are definitely worth looking at. One is North East Fife, which is Britain's tightest majority, where the SNP Stephen Gethins has a majority of just 2 votes. And the other two are Perth and North Perthshire and Ross Skye and Loch Arbour. All three of these are held by the SNP, but there's tactical voting going on between the unionist parties that will make all three very interesting come election night.
Kezia Dugdale of the John Smith Centre at Glasgow University. The Scottish political culture, how would you describe the differences between what happens here locally compared to Westminster elections?
We're very used to elections in Scotland, and we're also used to proportional representation. We've got STV for our local government elections, and we have the additional member system for the Scottish Parliament. So most of the time, Scots can go to the ballot box and vote for the party that they want, knowing there's a decent chance they're going to have that party represented for their community. It's different for Westminster elections though, especially in this general election where so many people are voting for the least worst option or voting against a party in the way that they're casting a vote tactically locally. That is across the whole range of the 6 parties which are represented in the Scottish Parliament. But ultimately, only 2 people can be Prime Minister, and most people in Scotland are choosing to vote for the person to stop somebody else.
How used Scottish voters to the idea of tactical voting?
And they've become very adept to it in the last few years. Particularly since the 2014 Scottish independence referendum, there's been a real push for tactical voting around constitutional lines. In 2015, the vote spread almost evenly between the 3 unionist parties, the Conservatives, Labour and the Liberal Democrats, whereas the pro-independence votes coalesced behind the SNP. You fast forward even just these 4 years, has a very different proposition, very different picture, in that you have some left-wing pro-independence supporters who are toying with the idea of voting for Jeremy Corbyn's more radical Labour Party, but also you have a Scottish Conservative Party who have been the one group in Scotland who have really got behind the idea of tactical voting down the basis of the constitutional lines, and kind of aped the SNP's idea of we need to hoover up the no voters in the same way the SNP hoovered up the yes voters. And where these soft yes Labour voters end up, and where the soft Labour no voters end up, will be key in a lot of very close marginal seats across Scotland.
Well, those are quite useful insights into the state of play here, and I think this topic of tactical voting really does show up the system for how bad it is. People should vote in a healthy democracy. They should vote positively for the party that they believe best represents them, or the candidate they think will do the best job for their community. People shouldn't have to do all this double guessing of the voting system in order to make their vote count. We really should just move to a simple, fair, proportional representation style of voting. At the Electoral Reform Society, we've done some polling and some research on this tactical voting issue, and anywhere between 20 and 25% of voters are planning on casting their vote tactically at the general election. That's a phenomenal number of people, millions of voters who aren't voting for their first choice. There's just such an unusual way of voting that we have for general elections. And I think, as Kezia was saying, in Scotland, where there's been this use of proportional representation voting systems, it's led to a more positive environment with multiple parties and voters being able to do what they want. The idea of between a fifth and a quarter of voters having to play the game it's just not good enough, and we can do so much better than that, I think, and that's why we're campaigning so hard on it. when you put it all together, we've been really concerned about voter registration. At one stage, the Electoral Commission thought there were up to 9 million people who weren't on the register. Then we know that only 2/3 of people who are on the register vote at the election. And now we find this figure of tactical voting between 20 and 25% not doing what they really want. It does leave you with a legitimacy question about an election conducted under these archaic rules. So anyway, search for the Electoral Reform Society online and join our campaign for a fairer voting system.